It's Nolan. What's going on, y'all? It's the kid J Nolan here. Now, if there's anything that you should know by now about Miss Monique, is that she is about her paper, all right? And she's not for none of these networks playing with none of that paper, even if they seem like they're the ones in position, they're the ones that are in control, etc. She like, nah, whatever y'all talking about, run me my coin. So today, Monique and her husband came out demanding CBS and Viacom to pay her and Countess Vaughn fairly for their time and work that they put in on the Parkers. Now, we're not just talking about the work that they did when they filmed the show, right? Of course, they got paid for doing that. They got paid during their time on set. All that's taken care of. However, the show has been syndicated ever since it was released, right? The show has also been on numerous streaming platforms. They show it on TV quite often. And after a certain point, once you reach syndication, the actors are actually supposed to be making money residually every year, at least a couple times a year, off of these shows. And unfortunately, the actors that played on the Parkers are not seeing those residual payments that they're supposed to be getting. Now, I know it kind of looks funny in the light because it's Monique, and pretty much the only time we really see her nowadays, she's either on stage or she's complaining about something. And there's a lot of people out there that feel like, man, why you always coming out asking for some money, fighting with the networks, fighting with people in Hollywood? Don't you ever have a moment to be happy? Aren't you ever content with your life? I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I even felt like that at one point. But as I've watched Monique moves and I've watched other people in entertainment talk about their struggles, talk about how financially unsettled they are with their time in the industry, I think we have to champion everybody. I get on this channel all the time and talk about my advocacy for artists and songwriters and producers, etc. So you gotta have that same love, you gotta have that same respect and the same principles for the people on screen. So let's go ahead and run this video of what Monique's talking about so y'all can hear it from her, to see what her demands are, understand her reasoning as to what she's saying, because it makes a lot of sense. All right?
Hey, my sweet babies, I'm Monique.
And I'm Sydney.
And we're coming to y'all today to let you know we're standing with all the unions that are striking right now. And we have a story that we must share of our own with the community. Countess Vaughn and I did a show called The Parkers. The Parkers has now been on air for 24 years. And they're trying to convince us, through our ownership of the show, that we made absolutely no money.
And it's baffling, being that when you have a conversation with the executive producers and they allude to the fact that the show in its entirety, 5 years, was made for under $70 million. It went out of production in 2004, but by 2009, we see profit participation statements that show the program made over $700 million, but yet was in a close to $1 billion, if not $1 billion deficit.
So what we're asking you, CBS, is can you please treat these two black women fairly? When our brother Dave Chappelle, who ironically had a deal with CBS, said he signed a deal out of desperation and it was a bad deal, they were able to go back and do the right thing. And they made that deal fair and they paid Dave Chappelle what he rightfully deserved. What we're asking you, CBS, don't pay us any more, but don't pay us any less.
And the reason why we're having this conversation out loud for the community to hear is this. We see the numbers and they still don't want to pay. What will happen to you when you don't even know the numbers exist?
So we're asking you, and when we say community, we mean community as in the ones that's fighting for equality. Will you stand with us? CBS, will you treat us fairly? We love y'all for real, my babies.
So there you have it from Monique. They say that the show has made over $700 million. They only produced it for 70. That's with all seasons. They invested $70 million into production. So they've 10x their investment and they still don't want to break them off none of their rightful bread, right? Now, she made comparison to Dave Chappelle. As y'all know, Dave Chappelle had his show, Chappelle Show, on Comedy Central, and he signed a deal that wasn't favorable to him. It went off into syndication. It went off into all these different networks, HBO, Netflix, etc. People were enjoying it. And he's like, yo, I'm seeing my face all over these apps. I'm not getting paid off none of that. They went back, revised the deal, gave him his money. Now we have Monique coming out and she's saying she wants to do the same. Now, the tough thing when it comes to this comparison is what her ties are to the show beyond being talent. Chappelle's show, it's in his name. Chappelle also acted, wrote, and helped come up with all of the creative that we saw on that sketch comedy show. So I think there is a little bit of a different dynamic between her and Dave. I know she likes to bring Dave up because she was his comparison with Netflix as well, when I think he did like a $50 million deal or something like that to that effect, and they offered her maybe 2 or 3. It definitely does get a little bit tricky when you make this comparison because I don't know what all Monique did on the Parkers. I don't know if she helped write any of the content or if she was just on-screen talent. Clearly, the show was not called The Monique Show, although a lot of people probably believed it was. And that's not to discredit what she's saying. I'm just curious to see what her claim would be for those additional $700 million that's unaccounted for, what she feels she deserves for her contributions. Countess Vaughn will be the same thing. Like, what is her stance? You know what I mean? Now, this isn't the first time that Monique has come out saying this, right? She came out earlier this year, as a matter of fact, with the same complaint. And I want to go over a few things that she said at that time. So this article I'm looking at is on Vibe from April 13th, 2023, right? A few months ago. They say, in an original post made by Monique on Wednesday, April 12th, she wrote, "Today we filed a lawsuit to make sure that we are fairly paid money that we are owed for the Parkers. Actors rely on the good faith of Hollywood companies to honor their profit participation agreements. The Parkers was a huge success and continues to be a source of revenue through syndication and streaming channels." She added, "To further make my point, the executive producers of the Parkers took legal action for the same concerns that I have, and they've already settled. Unfortunately, all too often, talent gets kept in the dark. We're looking forward to shedding some light on the subject. I love us for real." That's her tagline. I love us for real. Now, her lawsuit at that time, it had details of a possible breach of contract by CBS Studios and Paramount Pictures, in which the platforms undermined the show's $19.99 profitability to retain millions that would otherwise be contractually due to Monique's production company, Hicks Media. I didn't know about this. These are the questions I'm asking. While the series has proven to be a major financial success for its producers and distributors, the series' talent have not been permitted to share in the fruits of that success. Hicks Media, which is owned by Monique and her husband, they sought out CBS, Paramount Studios, and Big Ticket Productions for alleged monetary damages, which will be settled with a trial. Per the outlet, the show's creators and writers have also been underpaid. In a statement, Monique says, "I just want the contractual compensation that I've earned." The Parkers was on for 5 seasons on UPN before ending in 2004. Since then, the show has been on Netflix for fans to nostalgically binge. I believe it's on Paramount at this time also. So it's going to be very interesting to see what CBS, Paramount, and all of them do, if they actually give her what she's asking for, if they're able to settle out of court with some type of compensation, couple $1 million, you know what I'm saying, something. I mean, y'all did make 700 M's off the show. In Hollywood, in all businesses, their bottom line is making the bread. They don't want to share it if they don't got to, and if you don't challenge them, they'll never even entertain you. So Monique is only doing what she's got to do. I know sometimes the optics get a little weird. She's always with her husband. People really be expecting Monique to come out here and fight her battles on her own. They don't like seeing her husband next to her. A lot of people be saying it seemed like he's controlling her. That was a narrative that they pushed out a while back from her interview with The Breakfast Club. But to be honest, it really seemed like Monique is a woman that's in control. I'm going to be 100% real with y'all, man. I hope CBS and Paramount figure out what needs to be done. Not even just for Monique, but for real, for Countess Vaughn. You know what I'm saying? She's been out here even less. She's had less iconic roles. She hasn't had the same respect, love, admiration, and roles offered to her from her time on the show. So she definitely deserves a little something, man. She put years in on that. And if there's money that's being shaken under the table that people are not getting, make sure it finds their way to them, man. Let me know what y'all think of this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the post notification bell for all updates, and I'll see y'all on the next one, all right? Much love and respect, y'all. Peace.